Hello, my name is Tyson Curtis and I live on Apple Pie Ridge in Big Sur, California. I'm doing an experiment. It's going to be living minimalistically, hopefully trying to live off the land as much as possible, hunting, fishing, growing gardens, and just hunter-gathering. I was a bartender and collected all these bottles over 8 or 9 years working. Got some extra material, so I'm going to show you how to build a greenhouse. So hopefully we're going to see that in a minute. Here's the bottle wall. And here we go. We don't really know all the rules, but theoretically no power, very little food, and could barter with people, you know. Say you got some oranges, you can trade people for some, you know, anything that they've made. My mom has goats, so I could trade her for goat milk. Kind of making up the rules as I go along, I guess. So this is where our greenhouse is going to be. This is my garden area, or vegetable garden area. It's a little bit unkempt, but hopefully we're going to build a greenhouse over this thing. Extra bottles, these are all left over from the wall. You're about to watch a greenhouse be built.
Rolling around like your front page news. Lonely eyes in your motorcycle boots. Tattooed heart and your jet black hair. Rolling around like you don't care. Take me down, take me on down the line. Well, I was born bad with nothing to lose, but the black man taught me how to sing the blues. Made a little life out of rock and roll and that crazy California hustle and flow. Take me down, take me on down the line. Shake me down, shake me on down the line. Well, I went too fast with that rhythm and blues. Almost ended up dead like all those other fools. Everyone's got some sort of ball and chain. What's life without a little pain? Take me down, take me on down the line. Shake me down, shake me on down the line. Living a Hollywood movie dream, and I'm still reaching for the stars. Life gets hard and then it gets good, yeah, like I always knew it would. Running around like a front page news. Lonely eyes in your motorcycle boots. Tattooed heart and your jet black hair. Running around like you don't care. Take me down, take me on down the line. Shake me down, shake me on down the line. Take me down, take me on down the line. gun. I've got the machine gun blues. Already done. My life will soon be through. I've got the machine gun blues. We met in the springtime when blossoms unfold. The pastures are green and the meadows were gold. Our love was in flower as summer grew on. Our love, like the leaves, now have withered and gone. The roses have faded, there's frost at my door. The birds in the morning don't sing anymore. The grass in the valley is starting to die, and out in the darkness the whippoorwills cry. Alone and forsaken, my fate by man. Oh Lord, if you hear me, please hold tonight. his life in the light of day. I'll tell you something, I've heard them say, it don't matter, baby, what you want. Seems we all go back to mother. Can't take it with you, can't take it with you, can't take it with you, can't take it with you. Oh no, you can't take it with you, can't take it with you, can't take it with you, can't take it with you when you go. Become a slave. There ain't no spending when you're in the grave. Even if it's raining $1,000 bills, think of me, baby, in your mansion on the hill. Can't take it with you, can't take it with you, can't take it with you, can't take it with you. Oh no, you can't take it with you, can't take it with you. Can't take it with you when you go.
And now the greenhouse is done, and we're gonna have a jungle party. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, we don't want to light the streamers off of the tiki torches. That's for sure. Hello, and welcome to the greenhouse, now complete. And yeah, all these plants were our housewarming gifts for our greenhouse warming jungle party last night. And yeah, we christened it for the fertility gods and had a fucking awesome party. It was great. So I'm gonna give you a little tour of the greenhouse and some of the details that we put in, I guess, along the way. As you can see, there's a little lounge here. This is a raised bed with a nice tile relief across there. This staircase was actually the only thing here really before the greenhouse was here. So the whole greenhouse is built around this staircase. Yeah, all this rock Cyrus and I hauled out of the back canyon here on the property in a truck in buckets, load by load by load, which was a lot of work, but it looks really great, so I'm happy with that. We got our little shrine here. That's a bottle that Cyrus and I brought back from Mexico City when we were there. And this is it's like a 2-inch thick tabletop that I found in someone's front yard shattered in Santa Barbara. And it almost killed me putting it up. It was like massive shards of razor blade. But it's good, it's solid. Yeah, everyone wonders about the tilted window. But, I guess structural. We got our raised beds. These are our raised beds that initially were supposed to be straight. And then John came in here with this crazy idea to make them look like jaguar teeth that are like lining up, and all teeth that were like lining up. It was really hard to get this perfectly matched so that you could get a wheelbarrow through here. They're also the perfect width so that like anywhere you're at, you can weed in the back of the garden. Like you can reach the farthest away parts easily. And so it's really ergonomic as well as being cool. I guess I'll give you a little detail of the mosaics on one of these sides here. Now this placer from something fishing in Santa Barbara. All these abs rolling around the ranch. This is a fertility god. See his head? Then it goes down, he's got his arms up. And then his square body. And his legs go down. And his big fertile penis with an arrow on it. So he's gonna make everything grow real good. The roof is all made out of milled redwood that my uncle helped me mill. Or I helped him mill, rather. He really did me a favor on that one. And this is from the fire in 2008. One of the trees fell. And so we reused it and salvaged it. We turned it into the greenhouse roof. It looks awesome. You can see that there's lots of imperfections in it. But it's really beautiful wood. And it's so organic. You couldn't even buy it. Up here, these are old guardrails, original wooden guardrails from Highway 1 that my mom pulled out in the 70s. So this is the outside. I love all this. Allison helped me do all these mosaics on the front. And these sliders were all also on the ranch. John was planning on building a greenhouse and I beat him to it, so I bought them off him. And they're all refurbished from Last Chance at the dump. I remember pouring this wall, very first wall, 2 10-hour sessions. I think that's when I realized what I got myself into, but yeah, too late to stop then. So this is the outside of the greenhouse, obviously. Backside, all these windows were all just laying around the ranch. This board back here where the windows touch is 2 feet out of square with the actual roof, which means this entire wall is tilted in and over. So it's like 2 feet out of parallel with the far wall, which meant when I was doing this whole thing, see these rafters actually come together right there. This one toes off there and goes through the other side. So it's like, what a disaster. Having things out of square is just, it makes life real difficult. I'm not really like a construction person. I just like go for it without, I don't have training or anything really. Just what I picked up from people along the way, I guess. That's what makes it so unique and awesome too. Composter to complement the greenhouse. This is all pallets that I picked up from a construction site. I like this little detail over here. These bottles are all dry stacked in there so that at night the light pours out of the greenhouse through this checkered pattern with the Bombay Sapphire bottles. And it's really nice detail. It took a long time to do that. Longer than it should have. And that window up there was a mistake. Once we got this wall over here, we realized it was, you know, 1.5 feet lower than the other side. So I had to pull this up for the next form. And so that window just was natural progression, but I like it. A little detail. This is like the hell spot. This is what we call the alley. Man, we did 4 days ending in a 20-hour pour to build just this one back wall, which was just insane. There's bottles that go all the way through so the light goes through. And then all these windows up top were off the ranch. I don't have these laying around, I just built frames for them. They all open up so you can vent all the hot air out. These are all the pavers that we made that are going to go out front the other side of the greenhouse into like a little patio. Let me just show you those real quick. This is from a dream I had where there was a yin yang in the greenhouse, but it was blue and white. And I told my dad about the dream, and he made me this cool yin yang, and that's what started this whole paver thing. More refurbished doors, tile details. See, there's Saracen right there. Been permeated in the cement forever. Someone left their shades here, too messed up. Up here, I couldn't find anything to fit this whole area. I was scavenging forever. So we had to take a bunch of the old ranch frame windows, like on the other wall, and Ben and I deconstructed them all, and then rebuilt them like that. This is just the redwood from the ranch, and those windows took me like 3 days. It took me longer than doing all the other windows. All the hardware came from all the old telephone poles. It was still bolted on, so I unbolted it all. Almost all of it. I unbolted off the things. I manufactured these to go on here so it gets bolted through 4 ways. And see how there's a second beam here? There's 2 beams, so the wall was supposed to be above here. But this wall down here got so out of straight and alignment that I had to throw a second beam on here to straighten it out. And yeah, so there's like a double wide beam there because I couldn't fit the rafters on. Oh, and these brackets, those all came off the telephone poles and everything. As you can see, I built another raised bed here. This is an old guardrails that came off Highway 1 in the 70s, all galvanized, guaranteed never to rust out. And above us, you'll see that I put in this solar hot water heater. This is 3/4 inch drip irrigation, goes through the whole ceiling in the greenhouse, and is run by this solar pump. So that circulates the water, takes out the cold spots, and then it all drains from up here through the back wall and out the other side to where the shower is. And you know, if you take a shower during the day, it's nice and hot. At sunset, it's warm. After dark, it cools off pretty quick. But it's a nice place to take a shower. Yeah. And I also put in a bathtub, but it's not really for bathing. This tub was down at our pottery for about 20 years. Since I was a kid, I had clay in it my uncle was storing. And so yeah, we turned this into a little fish pond, a little water accent in the greenhouse. And yeah, we got some cabbage growing. This is all broccoli going to flower. And these things going up to the roof, these are all fava beans. This is Swiss chard. There's some lettuce over here. Some kale. Kale. These are beets. Beet tops. Eggplant. We got eggplant growing in March. That's pretty cool, huh? There's another one right there. And yeah, there's lots of peas growing. There's an artichoke right there. So it seems like stuff's growing in here. I guess you could call it a success. We'll see if it sustains me for a whole year. I put in a hammock that I picked up in Thailand when we were there. And then I also made this cool patio with all the pavers. Al helped me out with it, and we did the bottles to take up space because we didn't have quite enough pavers. See how those bottles are beer bottles face down? And yeah, it's pretty cool. Little designs, finding some time in the cracks. And then also, last week, I built this arbor with all the extra wood from the greenhouse that was either too rotten or too short or whatever, leftovers. And then I planted some kiwis here. So in the next couple of years, hopefully we'll get some kiwis. So I'm going to be starting Zap, and I guess we'll see how the experiment plays out. Anyways, hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial of build your own greenhouse. And it was supposed to take 3 months, and it took over a year, so go figure. Hello, my name is Tyson Curtis, and I live on Apple Pie Ridge in Big Sur, California, doing an experiment that we call the Year of Sustainability.
Or just recut.
Well, I'm sitting on the machete, dude.
My name is Tyson.